I'm at the fairgrounds right across from where I live. I don't know how this is going to sound or how well this is picking up because there's just wind and everything, but I sort of testing out the video capabilities of this camera. But also just to make a few comments. This is Tom, and this is, I guess this is going to be Autism Inside Out, is what this is going to be a segment of. I'm starting to get out more. You've got I'll explain what this place is. This is a fairground, but this is one of the nation's largest tracks. It's sort of like the Kentucky Derby, but it's for this style of racing. There's a gentleman going by right now. You can see what this is. There's a name for this type. My brother-in-law is like up on this. We've actually, the stadium's back here. I'm not sure if it's in the view or not, but I've been going through a very interesting time. I'm sitting here, walking around the track here, and ever since diagnosis, you can't help but have that constantly on your mind, that all of a sudden you realize that you're autistic. And the wind's blowing this thing around. It probably looks like I'm moving around. I go, I'm sorry, we'll see how it looks. And plus this wind. I don't know. Anyway, it's, I'm wondering if it was always going to be a constant adjustment. There's a novelty to this whole thing. There really is. It's like, wow. I mean, here I was just Tom the other day. Now I'm Tom Autistic. And yeah, there's a novelty to it. But there's also, it's real. I mean, that starts to sink in probably, I don't know. I guess once you start really accepting that it's true, which for me was only 2 months ago. This is middle March. And only if you're going through something like this can you really put it into words. I don't think there's, oh boy, I should have brought my other mic down with it. Oh, they can't hear me. Anyway, I'll try to maybe block it a little closer. I'm not sure if this is focusing on me. It's supposed to. But anyway, I'll time my video by how many times this guy comes around, how many laps. It's what's been really, first of all, I guess I want to start off by saying that it's all positive. It's actually the kind of growth that everybody should go through. You're introspective and you're trying to figure yourself out, what your strengths are, what you can do well, what you can't do, things that you're completely blind to. And that's the part to me that's getting humble. Sorry, trash man of the area going by. It humbles you very, very much to go through this process, because some of the things I'm realizing is just, I used to call it being naive, and it is. It makes you naive, but what it is there's a blindness. There is a social blindness to understanding other people and the qualities of those relationships. Again, like I say, I don't know if this isn't well protected. It sounds pretty crappy right now with that wind. We'll see. But so I'm just walking around here, really thinking about all this, all these adjustments, and it's I don't know if painful is the word to call it, but it's sobering to say the least, and it's put it into words is hard. I want to say there's sort of a sadness to it. Probably because I feel like I've been deceiving myself all these years. I mean, what I've got to do now is you just go on. You pick yourself up and you just you do your best with what you've got, and you try to improve who you are and try to get better at the skills that you're not good at, and that's all you can do. But it's sort of a shock to come upon these things, and I'm noticing now in just in relationships in general. And yeah, I don't have a lot of practice in it. They're the kind of things that you kind of admit. It's like I haven't been Mr. Social Butterfly. I haven't done what apparently women on the spectrum do, and there's that whole social component that women are so good at, or part of their nature. Crap, there's the wind again. Guys aren't like that, so I think we're at a disadvantage in the sense of social skills and things to begin with. I don't think that's neurotypical or neurodiverse, and so now is sort of the time to go through all that, and yeah, I have to admit, I wish I was 30, wish I was 20. I've talked about this with other people, but you can't wish that, because you really don't know. You don't know how you would have reacted at that age to saying you're autistic, and especially with what was known about autism. And I mean, if I say 30 years ago, there wasn't an internet. Is that true? Is that really? Am I really that old? Let's see. 30 years ago, yeah, it's about the dawn actually of. That's when modems were. 1200 baud instead of cable. I remember being on a 1200 baud modem, and text took time to upload, and pictures were like, forget it, sit there for an hour to get a picture. But it was still like, ooh, this is cool. Anyway, off on a tangent like I always do. Yeah, kind of a nice background though. So anyway, those of you I know that, I talk about other people, or talk with other people that are in my phase of discovery and before it and beyond it. And there's so many parallels that we all go through. My goal, what I really want to do is be myself. Be comfortable being myself. I don't know in our society that that's going to be possible. I don't know that an autistic person can be themselves, which is sad. Around other autistic people, yeah. And I guess that's what my goal is, to do my best in that area too. I mean, a lot of us, we'll sit around, I'll sit around, it's like we're around a campfire, but on the internet, we'll sit around in our, wherever we are. And it's sort of a dream, that we'd have an autistic community. And of course, grass is always greener on the other hill, so who knows, it might be a total disaster, but just the idea of having a place where you're free to be yourself, that's a dream. So anyway, I just wanted to test the camera out and say a few things. If it's good enough, I'll publish it. If not, I'll hit the delete button. So, well, this is Delaware, Ohio. That's where I live, and it's actually a really nice day. It's probably in the upper 40s, lower 50s right now, and the sun feels very good right now. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well in your journey, and this is my Autism Inside Out, and thank you for joining me.